Ladies and gentlemen, we are live in living color. Welcome to another fantastic episode of This Week in Reselling, where I have a little help with my friends. Here we'll discuss the highs and lows of reselling and dive into great conversation. We're positive you're going to hear something that's going to help you become a better reseller. I'm your host, Ray, and I am joined with two of the greatest people on the planet, Samantha, Libby, three of the greatest people on the planet, Samantha, Libby, and Molly. And here are my co-hosts for today. We have Joe with I'd Flip That.
Hello. And he just said today. So we're not sure about next episode.
I will take it.
Mm-hmm.
I will take it.
I noted.
Okay.
I did notice that. Yes.
And we have Brendan with Big Time
Flips.
Flips, straight from Cell Block C.
Straight out. Chicago.
There you go. So, ladies, we're so excited to have you guys this week on This Week in Reselling. And I'm excited because I've heard rumblings, I've heard grumblings about these three amazing women out in these streets consigning, chatting. And I said, Joe, we got to have them on the podcast. Make it happen. And so here you are. And I don't know much about you guys, which hopefully in the spring I'll get to meet you at Boss. Hopefully.
Yes.
Still up in the air.
We'll see.
But you girls will for sure be there, right?
We are going to be there.
We will be there. And when you do your second meetup in Nashville, we'll be there.
Okay.
Yes.
So
That's still up in the air too. We'll see. What
All right,
happens.
Ray, make some decisions here.
I know.
I mean, it's like 6 months away, though, so.
That is true. The thing is, Ball's kind of like threw a wrench in my plans because they moved it to the spring, and then we had our little get together in the spring too. So it's like, man, that could be hard on a lot of people's pocketbooks. So it's like, I may even move it to the fall. A little October of next year.
There you
I
go.
don't know.
It's up to you.
We'll see. What do you think, Molly? What do you think?
we're having a little group get together in Colorado that the two of
Colorado in the fall?
Yeah, we just did our Nashville one, so we have a little group, but we had already discussed that we should let Joe branch out to his two co-mates here, and you guys come on with.
Where in Colorado?
Denver.
My wife has family in Colorado, so I kind of make a little thing. I love Colorado.
It sounds like Ray just made a decision. Good job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm fixing in a couple days. I'm going to Florida. I'm going to the beach.
Oh, there you go.
So I'll be there for a week, and I'm gonna turn my phone off. So Joe keeps bugging me about stuff, and
Joe just doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop. He keeps sending me all these TikToks. I'm like, Joe, quit sending me TikToks.
Well, and he keeps saying that he's in his pajamas, but I mean, I don't know. That outfit is
right.
I didn't wear it. I didn't want to get you excited, Samantha. So.
Oh, excited is not the word. Okay.
It's whatever the direct opposite on the other side of the spectrum. But ladies, for the people that may not know you, because I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure the listeners and the watchers have a lot of questions. So if you were to give like a brief introduction of who is the Consignment Chat ladies, who are the Consignment Chat ladies?
So we're three ladies that got together to help you grow your reselling business and talk about consignment and make sure every reseller is consignment ready. How's that?
Okay. I like it.
Short and sweet.
So why? Okay. So, and tell me if I'm completely wrong about this. So the Consignment Chat girls. So if I wanted to consign something, I would reach out to you guys, and then you guys would sell it to me and sell it on eBay. Is that what I'm getting? No. Okay.
No.
Tell me.
So we want to make sure that resellers are consignment ready. So if you need a different way to source, or you have someone approach you about selling their items, or you have a proper way to respond to them, not necessarily that you'll consign those items, but you'll give them options of like, well, I can consign it and I earn 70%, or I can buy it outright and you get this right away, or things like that. So that people that are branching out to different, especially like during the pandemic and stuff, thrift stores were closed. Nobody's having garage sales. Everybody, People were dropping stuff off on my porch when I told them not to. Like, there was so much consignment. So we just want to make sure that everybody knows their options and resellers are consignment ready in case they need to use the tools that we have.
Okay.
Because don't you guys get asked all the time, like the second you say I'm an online seller or I sell on eBay, what's the first thing somebody asks you? Oh, can you sell my stuff? Oh, I have this stuff in my garage. And if you're not ready to say yes and you're not ready to say no, you can really get sucked into some pretty bad situations.
I always say yes, and I shouldn't, and I just
see,
you really
need us.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're here with you guys today.
Yeah.
We're
I
just
say,
talking.
hey, you know what? I'll help you. I'll show you how to sell on eBay.
Yes.
Right now, I have way too much stuff. I can't sell your stuff.
Because you're, yeah.
That's good, Joe. See, my wife gets on me because sometimes I'm too blunt and too mean when I don't mean to, but just that's kind of like how my brain works. So like I don't use up any of the like
Me too.
extra energy, you know? Yeah. So Sam gets my drift. But if anybody, like to this day, I'm like, I have no, and we were talking about this a little earlier before off air. I have no problem saying no to like a lot of things, even to a point to where it might hurt people's feelings. Cause I like initially, like I'm the person that's going to be doing all this stuff. But whenever anybody asks me if I want to sell their stuff on eBay, the first question is, well, what do you want to sell? Cause if it's worth me selling on eBay, I'm going to do it. Like they might have some, I don't know, 100 pounds of slab glass or something like that, or some what is it? What are those baby bottles you were telling us about, Joe?
Latex drop-in baby bottles.
Yes.
That's my bolo, Joe. What are you doing?
Yeah. He gave you credit. He gave you credit.
I gave you the credit. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
He gave you credit.
I didn't want to, but I gave you the credit.
Yeah. But you guys, so you guys have like a training program, network, help along program to help people like Brendan that say yes constantly to people.
Yes. Yeah. So like the first step is our website. We have a sample agreement on there that you can look through terms and things that we suggest that you set up to have. So you know you're ready. Like I do this percentage and I do this. And then we have a listing calculator on there for any reseller that wants to know how much they should be listing each week or each month. That's like my favorite free thing on there. And then we also have our Patreon where we do coaching and we set goals every week and so we can go more in depth with people. But consignmentchats.com is like the first step. You can see where we're at everywhere. And then there's those free tools on there like the agreement and the listing calculator to get you started.
That's awesome. And that's free for everybody, or is that you have to like
those things are free? We have a Patreon that's a mixture. We have a Patreon you can sign up for free, but then we also have paid levels where you get our coaching and mastermind and our motivation in minutes that we meet every morning, Monday through Friday for. So that's all part of the page.
Monday through Friday
every morning we have motivation in minutes. And let me tell you, if we don't get it, we're so upset. Any one of us misses it, and our whole group of people, we're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't get anything done because I missed motivation in minutes.
10 minutes every morning.
And you guys do it all together, or do you guys take turns?
All together on Zoom.
Together. Yeah, it's
amazing.
awesome. So like just sets you up for the day. You know, let's say you're dragging a little bit in the morning or just not getting going. There's nothing like seeing all these bright shining faces or, somebody's not bright and shining to be there to lift them up, because we've all had our times.
And then we do free events in the Patreon as well. So we have a free book. We have 2 free book clubs. One is like a personal girly one where we talk about murder books and stuff like that. And then the other one is business boosting, where we pick ones that will actually like you can implement steps into your business as you go along in the book. Those are free. We have things like Listapalooza, which we just had, and we just did a 4-day listing event where anybody can check in the Patreon, say, hey, I want to list 5 a day extra, or I want to list 20 a day, or whatever their goal is for Listapalooza. We had people rocking out 100+ items a day in there. They were absolutely crazy.
Wow.
And then we had numbers. Our winner listed 193 items, I think it was, in the 4 days. She was our winner.
No, that was the whole 4 days. But the first 2 days, she only listed like 5 a day. And the other 2 days, the other 2 days, the one day she 100. She went to bed at 2 in the morning and she had 100 listings. Yeah. And then other people are like, hey, I haven't actually put anything on eBay in a month. And I want to list 10 things this weekend. That's a good idea. I'll jump back into it. So it's all levels and part-time, full-time. Doesn't matter what platform you're on. Doesn't matter what cross-listing tool you use. We just want everybody in there working on their businesses.
That's amazing. And so there's different levels, different tiers to this Patreon that provide different. What's the biggest one? What does that include? And you guys can all see this on, what is it? Consignment, patreon.com/consignment chats. Correct?
There you go.
Thank you. So it's easier to start at the bottom. You got your free one where we do book clubs and then random challenges and things on there. That's the free one. For $10, you get into our Monday through Friday motivation in minutes, 10 minutes every morning. And then we do a monthly mastermind where you set a goal for the following month, talk about any challenges or anything you had in the previous month. And you get time to work with us and about 10 other people and just really work on your business once a month. If you upgrade to the $25 tier, we do that every week. So you still get the Monday through Friday motivation. You get a weekly mastermind where we set goals and really dive deeper into things to work on for that week. And then we also have a come list with us, which is a Zoom call where we post a link on Wednesday and say, hey, everybody pop in here and work with us. And we all work together and list together. And it's like a big coaching thing. And then the top tier is $50 and you get all of that. Mm-hmm. Plus you get a half hour of time with us, 1-on-1 or 3-on-1 of whether you want to work on branding or your listing goals or how to set up sales in eBay. We'll do store reviews, all that stuff.
That's amazing.
Sounds like
that's a lot for so you're doing all this stuff Monday through Friday. Like, when do you guys have time to
that's what I'm wondering.
Do your own thing?
As soon as we're done here. Yeah.
Right? Well, we we appreciate you guys coming on. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, because
we're thrilled to be here, guys.
Oh my gosh, this is exciting.
So real quick, so you guys kind of told us about your business strategies and all the great things that you guys provide when you sign up for these different tiers. How did you guys come up with this all together? Because I know that. How did you guys meet, and what gave you guys the idea to do this? Because I know that, Sam, you said you're in Michigan, right?
Yes.
And then Libby, where are you?
Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, shout out to, the office.
The office, that's right. I can give you the office tour if you ever visit.
Yeah. And then, Molly, you're in Virginia?
I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina.
North Carolina, okay. Yeah. And you guys recently had a little get-together in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Why Gatlinburg, Tennessee, since you're all kind of all over the place?
Well, we let Samantha pick this one, so that was where she wanted to go. So
yeah, Tennessee is my favorite, and we were trying to come up with somewhere that was close for all of us, but not necessarily going to somebody's place. So that worked.
I feel anywhere.
Did you like Tennessee?
I love it. I've been there like a bajillion times. I love this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only place that I will play tourist and just to go full tourist in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed the weekend, but I'm not as big of a Gatlinburg person. But I enjoyed being with everybody for the weekend. I love seeing the mountains, but I don't like all the touristy stuff in there. But
it's real touristy.
Yeah. But the cabin, I loved being in the house. I loved having all like-minded fun behind. I don't want to use a dirty word, fun behind people having a good time. I mean, it was great. So,
yeah. So we didn't and I know you guys talked a little bit about previously after Joe got back, we didn't go to Pigeon Forge and do all the touristy stuff. We did none of that.
The Stampede, whatever that.
No dinner shows. No, we basically just hung out in the mountains in our cabin for a couple days and just relaxed.
Libby, did you go?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
My highlight was the boiled peanuts. I never had boiled peanuts, and I stopped at a roadside stand. Molly took some photos. I was super excited.
Joe was not a fan, at all.
Not at all.
But Libby's not saying it right. If you live in the South, you got to call them boiled
peanuts.
No,
you
do you know why?
The southern
do you know why
thing?
they say that though? Because they're like boiled.
Not true.
Right?
They're nuts. They're delicious.
Yes.
I've never heard of that.
Did you guys go to Waffle House while you guys were down here?
No.
Yes, Waffle House.
No, but we did go
like
to the largest Buc-ee's.
Yeah. Where is that? Is that in Crossville, Tennessee, or where is that?
It was...
I forget where it's in the Gatlinburg area, but I can't remember the little side.
I don't know. The thrifting party bus took us there, like a thrifting party bus.
That was a stop.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I had to get a picture of Joe and Bucky. I mean,
yeah. Which one? The one outside or the real one inside?
Both. We got the real one
Double
and
bucked
the
up.
statue.
You bucked up. There,
bucked
Joey.
up. Got them both.
I'm jealous. I'm really jealous, actually.
Well, next time maybe you'll come to Nashville and I'll show you a really good time.
Okay, there we go.
So
are you guys doing it again next year, or like, is it like just like a one-time thing?
No, we're gonna do this is what we're doing in Denver next year. So we're gonna move different places each time we do it. So Denver was the next choice, and then it sounds like maybe Nashville's the next choice. We're just gonna pop. I want to do Florida. I mean, we all have different places we want to do one in. But Joe and Nicole are gonna host one at their house.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Nicole might have shut the Airbnb down.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, ribs for everybody.
At least we know, Brendan, that if 3 in the morning, if we get inebriated, we can just randomly jump in Joe's pool.
Yes,
absolutely.
I'm gonna jump in the pool, and then I'm gonna get out and then jump in the pond after that.
There you go.
Just right.
What is there, like 1 month you can use the pool there, or what?
I just took it down a few days ago, just last weekend. So I have it from about end of May to September. So
all right, that's not that much different than here.
He's also a Memorial Day to Labor Day kind of place.
Kind of guy, yeah.
Right.
When is it is that still a thing where you can't wear white pants up to like Labor Day?
I can't ever wear white pants. Have you seen me eat barbecue? It does not work.
So I grew up down south, and I don't care about that rule because it's always warm where I grew up. So I wore white all the time.
But isn't that a thing, right? Like you quit wearing like
like the Hamptons or something. Yeah.
I still have some white pants. I haven't worn them in a while though.
You quit wearing them.
I do have them though. I'll put them on.
Don't let him.
When it gets colder, I'll put them on.
What are they, like jeans, or were they like
they're jeans. It's silk. Yeah, right. No, they're jeans.
Are the stripes?
What terms would you use to list those jeans, Brendan?
Vertical or horizontal black stripes?
No, there's no stripes on them. No stripes.
I'm just kidding.
Stripes. I wish there were stripes.
Huh.
But yeah, I've been working. Those things have been in there for like a couple of years now.
I was trying to defend you a few episodes ago and all this prison talk. I was like, you guys got to quit ganging up on him. But then I remembered that you live in Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids is not great. It's not.
Dude, I've been to Grand Rapids before.
Have you,
Brendan? I drove up with some buddies back in the day for a wedding.
Oh,
I'm like, Grand Rapids. We stayed at a hotel next to a Buffalo Wild Wings. We went to the Buffalo Wild Wings,
and there were a lot of B-dubs there.
And they were closing. And then we asked the person, because it was right after the wedding and we were starving. And we're like, let's go to the Buffalo Wild Wings. This is next to the hotel. And they were closing, which is weird. And then we asked, well, when's the closest place to eat nearby? And there's like, there's a IHOP like right down the road, which we were all walking. Right down the road meant it was like 5 miles down down the road.
Yeah.
So we just kept going. Yeah, and we're like, whoa. So on the way back, we got like a taxi to bring us back to the hotel because this was like before Uber.
Right.
This was like 2007, something like that. Yeah, I was still in college. But yeah, shout out to Grand Rapids.
There are more places
They say
there now.
They say it weird though. Grand Rapids, something like
Grand Rapids.
Grand
Yeah.
Rapids.
Grand Rapids.
Bald peanuts.
Yeah. But
Nice.
sorry, we got really sidetracked.
I
How
was
did
gonna
you
say,
guys meet?
We do this every week.
Oh,
I'm going to pull it back together here, and I'll start because there's going to be each of us have a little part.
That's supposed to be Joe's job, is to pull it back together, but you know.
We got to have somebody do it. Usually it's Libby in our shows that pulls us back to the business side of things because Samantha and I go crazy with.
I forgot there was even a question. So
Joe just divides us even further every week.
Yes.
So I lived in Pennsylvania. My husband moved us to Pennsylvania when my son was 4. When he got into elementary school, I got involved in the PTO, and I met Libby at PTO, and we changed their fundraising system there because it was not good, and we made it more locally based, sustainable, locally based fundraising, and not those catalogs from somewhere else and cheap stuff. So we really got to become good friends there, and one of the events we did was a big consignment sale, and from there, a year or so later, Libby called me and said, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to open a consignment shop. And I said, you are? So she opened a consignment store and called me. I helped her set it up because I love to do displays and I just love to help friends and do all that. So I was there a couple of weeks before every day helping her set things up and get it ready for opening.
And you were still in Pennsylvania?
You what?
You were still in Pennsylvania? Okay.
Still in
Right
Pennsylvania.
outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah, right outside of Philadelphia. And so she called me up and said, do you want to come be my online sales manager and list some of these items online on eBay? And you can work part-time and just come in and pull things off the floor and list them. And so that was 12 plus years ago. And we still talk about how I remember our big exciting party of woohoo, we got 100 listings and now we're at 12,000.
That was the most exciting, is to get to 100 listings. Like we had a big table in front. We closed the front doors, and I don't know, what do we have, like a 6-pack of beer or something? And we sat at the table. And we were like,
we got 100
eBay listings.
So I'm going to cut out stuff here because I want to get back to the main question. So my husband then moved me back down south. 10 years later? I don't remember how many years later, but not 10 years later, but years later, my husband's job moved us back here down south to North Carolina. And so I was no longer in the storefront with Libby, and we would talk every morning. And as we were talking, we would say, oh, we're solving world problems here, having coffee. We should have a podcast. We should do a YouTube show. We should do So I got involved with a nonprofit. That kind of went away. Libby met somebody on eBay, and they had the same idea. And so Libby just decided, Libby, let's do this.
Let's do this. So we were working together. Like, I closed the brick and mortar and I was selling all online. Molly joined me from North Carolina. We sell in the same eBay store for our business right now. And then we just made it happen. Then Samantha.
So they went and they did that, and they were doing great. And they started Consignment Chats actually with somebody else, and then that didn't work out. So they're doing their thing, and I'm just this crazy person that like searched Consignment on YouTube and a podcast, binge watched all of their episodes, which I think they didn't have a ton when I first found them, and commented like crazy. Like I was that weird super fan that was like, you guys are amazing. And I followed them as I was going from a journey of I've resold on the side for like 10 years. And then I left my job at the hospital, my 15-year career in healthcare in the middle of the pandemic. So I literally broke down one night. I mean, I was breaking down every night and morning and at noon, but I broke down one night and I put in my notice and I came home and I told my husband, I quit my job. And he's like, and I was sold like the highest, I paid the bills. And he goes, you did what? And I was like, I'm going to figure it out, but I'm also going to like go nuts there. I can't do this anymore. So I made him believe in me, which didn't take much. He's very supportive. But I said, I think I can do this reselling thing full time. And he's like, it pays for your Starbucks every week. Like, you don't, what are you talking about? I didn't even list anything during the pandemic because I was working so much. We didn't know how COVID was like affecting things. So I was scared to ship things. Like I didn't even do it for a year and a half. And then I quit my job. I had 20 things listed on eBay. I quit my job. And then these girls, I was like, yeah, I'll come on your show and tell my story. And then next thing you know, it was a monthly thing. And the next thing you know,
can't get rid of you now.
I'm here all the time.
Can't get rid of her, man. Yeah.
So you were doing, so when did this like Patreon and all this stuff like come about? Like,
so that's just evolved. Like when we first started, it was just weekly episodes on YouTube. And then it was, you know, oh, people are asking a lot of questions. Let's start doing this. And oh, we're doing this. And it's just, oh, it's evolved. I mean, we change things every week and add stuff every week.
Yeah. And a lot of it's been like our community members, right? Like we had a Facebook group and they say, well, why don't you do this? Or can you help me with this? And Molly is a insanely good branding expert. And, you know, it just, you know, people wanted her help. Like, how do I brand this? How do I market this? And, you know, so Patreon just kept evolving so that we could offer those things and help the people that were asking. Yeah.
What do they ask you to brand? What are they branding? What are you branding, Molly? Like, what do they usually ask you to?
Well, sometimes, like one of the more recent ones is somebody who has been in business for a while, but decided they wanted to change their business focus and focus on a specific niche. So they wanted to do a new logo and a complete rebranding. So I helped her with that, you know, coming up with a new logo and brand kit and all that. Sometimes, yeah, it's just somebody who has a logo, but they're just not happy with it. They want to figure out what they need it for, what kind of plans to have for the future. You know, everybody's different in their business. Some people want all the social media to go along with their business. Some people don't. So I just kind of go through that with them. Are they going to have a website? Are they not? Are they just, you know, going to be Instagram, eBay, like what, and kind of help develop what they need in all those different areas.
And I mean, all the consistency, like you provide consistency, right? So somebody knows they're looking at your business, like no matter where you are. Like you guys do an awesome job of that too. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people, it's a big hurdle for them.
And a lot of times people come to us, you know, people want to touch everything. Like, oh, I should have got a Shopify website. And, oh, I should do this and I should sell on this platform and I should do. A lot of times they come to us and we're like, okay, what do you want your focus to be? Do you really need a website? Do you really let's evaluate? And we just look at their business as a whole and figure out what they really need to focus on.
That's interesting. What I'm still trying to figure out. So the people that are wanting that branding, is it because they're like, are they selling on eBay? Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, are they having a Shopify store or?
Yeah, a lot of them will have a Shopify store, some not, some they're just eBay and social media and, you know, wanting logos to put on their little, you know, thank you cards that they might put in a package that they ship, that kind of thing. They want something consistent that helps build the trust in your customers so they feel like they know you. I mean, Libby and I, having been in business me working with her for so long, there are people now who, you know, and for a long time now, who seek out our brand for things because of the long-term trust and relationship that you build. And a lot of that comes with being consistent in your branding. Like if we post something in Instagram and it's consistent with the colors of Facebook and other places, it's, oh, I know who they are. You know, this TikTok video, oh, that's the Consignment girls, you know.
And I mean, if somebody wants a logo for their website, they can go on Etsy and they can get one for $30 or, you know, $50 or whatever. Or they can meet with us for $50 and they can have a face-to-face, you know, Zoom customization, walk through it. What color, what's your vision? It's It's more bang for
Yeah,
your
I
buck.
mean, it's a process. Like I meet with them and go through a whole lot of questions about them and their business and what their focus is. It's not just, oh, you like purple and princesses? Here, you know.
Yeah, and I think people underestimate like the importance of that and how easy it is to do as your first step, right? Like it's so easy. It's real hard if you do it. It's a lot harder when you do it, you know, a year, 2 years in. If you start with something consistent on your eBay, let's say you sell on eBay and that's your focus. Like it's so easy to start with something that's identifiable and just have that there and then expand out. It's very hard to do the reverse of that and rebrand and do that. So I think a lot of eBay sellers or people that just are keeping it small, a lot of resellers underestimate the importance of that in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, and I have some people too that one in particular I did recently who she does have ideas for future expansion of her reselling business. So when we developed her logo and created it, we've already created it with the idea of where that second part of her business will go and what that's going to look like, so that there, even though that logo will be a little bit different, it's already tied into where people will know it's under the same umbrella. It's the same people. When she's ready, it's the ideas are there and set up for her. So there's that part of it too.
I was just I'm thinking in my head, you know, because the majority of the people that are resellers sell on eBay. I don't really think of branding stores when I'm shopping on eBay, or even if I'm selling it on eBay. Like my eBay store is not the Nashville Flippers on eBay, because it's something completely different, which that's kind of a long story, because I had
branding
like
faux pas
in the beginning.
101.
Well, tell me. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, and the reason why I have it separate is because, again, like my first, like, you know, we have over 200,000 followers on TikTok, and then like my eBay store used to be the same as the Nashville Flippers, but I would get so many trolls in there.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, I have to separate it, and so it's like,
we have totally separate. So consignment chats is one thing, right? And we're talking to other resellers through consignment chats, right? That's so you got to kind of think about your ideal, like your avatar, your ideal customer, who it is. So for us, consignment chats, we're talking to other resellers. In my reselling business, I'm talking to customers, totally different audience, totally different business. So I think we get that. Like I have Conchi Consignment and Samantha has Sorting with Samantha. We're talking to our customers in those businesses. Like, and I think Nashville Flipper, you are talking to other resellers, right? You're not interested in talking. So I get that division, because that's exactly what we do, is, you know, figuring that out. So I think not having it branded as the Nashville Flipper on your eBay store makes sense, but you have another brand that you're selling.
Even then, it's not like my store's not like a brand. It's just like whatever my store name is, I just throw stuff on there to sell it. But Samantha was saying, like branding faux pas, like why is it a branding faux pas, and why?
So, like when you were talking about Patreon earlier, sorry, I interrupt a lot.
Interrupt me, it's fine.
Bad about that.
Please interrupt.
You do a lot of pauses. It's easy.
It's the hamsters get tired from time to time in that wheel, so they just like
they're just exhausted, rolling. Still the wheel's still going. Yeah.
So, similar to Brendan in prison, makes sense. So earlier when you were talking about our Patreon and consignment chats and all that, and you stopped to clarify that we're consignment chats on Patreon. We're consignment chats everywhere: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. We're consignment chats because we branded it that way. You're Nashville Flippers on TikTok. If you wanted to tie in your eBay store or whatever, then it would be branded the same way. They are separate businesses. I am not consignment chats on eBay because that's.
But we have a consignment chats on eBay that's just for consignment chat swag.
We do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
So in your reselling business, if you were going to do a TikTok that showcased things you listed that day or that week, so customers could go and check them out in your eBay store, then you would want the eBay store and that TikTok branded together so they can easily go between platforms and find you. I'm sorting with Sam on Poshmark, and it drives me absolutely nuts because sorting with Samantha did not fit. And it's killing me because I'm sorting with Samantha everywhere else.
Okay. But what is I just want to get this clarification. So what is the importance of branding just branding your eBay store in general? Like Molly, you're helping these people. Okay.
Customer trust and building repeat customers. That's the biggest thing you can get, is that once you brand yourself and they've had a good experience, they know you. If you're doing side, and it's really important. I mean, I think personally, I love an eBay store that's branded when I go in there and see it all kind of cohesive looking, but that's the biggest thing. I mean, we have so many repeat customers that now follow our Instagram and our Consignment Facebook, and we don't do as much on that now. I don't think, Libby, as we used to do, but we will post things a couple of times a week on there. We used to do a lot of posting like what just came in kind of things, but we do less of that because it's so established now that it's really more fun things to remind them we're out there. But it's, to me, I think personally, the most important thing is that feeling of connection and trust between a customer and you as a business owner.
Okay.
Now, I know the way that your head is spinning. Most resellers, especially if you're just selling eBay, you don't need to be branded. You don't need to worry about any of this. I started on Facebook and had a Facebook following. So when I branched out and went to all the other places, it was easy for me to just put my brand in all those places, and my Facebook following could find me and do my things over there. But not everybody needs to be on social media. Not every reseller needs to have a TikTok or a YouTube, or not every reseller needs to be branded. That's right. Totally fine.
I do disagree with
Libby.
that. I totally disagree with that. I think everybody, and I mean, when I say branded, I mean, it could be Ray the reseller and you have a consistent color on your thing with a consistent Ray the reseller color, right? Like super simple. So if somebody wanted to come back and shop with you, they know it's you. Simple as that. It could be just a picture of your face with one background color. Like simple. Like it doesn't have to be overthought. It doesn't
Joe's going, no, I'm not shopping with his face.
Because I'm
just saying Ray's face. Mine.
Because I'm overthinking it too, Libby, because I'm like, oh man, like, because I'm thinking, what would be the conversion rate of returning customers to that eBay store? Because I don't think like that on an eBay store. Because I'm finding a particular item to purchase on an eBay store, and I could care less which store it's coming from, as long as it has the. But like, what's the conversion rate on a returning customer to an eBay store? I don't know if you guys have that analytics or not.
Can you look that up? I mean, we have quite a few repeat. I mean, there's probably weekly. I'll see the little green pop up. Repeat customer.
Right. It's pretty high. I mean, for eBay, right? Because people don't shop like that. People don't generally shop like that on eBay. I want to say it's 7%, maybe 7% of our total customers are repeat customers, between 7 and 10%, I think. So most people do not shop like that. But if you get a collection of something and you're known for something, and I'm an everything seller, but I might have 100, I don't know, Mont Blanc pens, right? Like something super specific. I don't have 100. I wish I had 100 of them. I have quite a few of them. But you know, something super specific.
I missed what you even said. What was it?
Mont Blanc pens.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Really, Joe?
I don't know.
I didn't know what they were until I met Libby.
Oh, okay. Really? All right. Well, there you have it.
We'll kick him out of the
So yeah, if you have something like that, and I'm sure there are times you get a collection of something, right? That you have maybe 100 of one type of item. Are you going to make it hard for that collector, or are you just going to be consistent so they can find you? I mean, you don't know when that's going to happen. You don't know when you're going to have an opportunity to maybe branch out and want the same consistency on, maybe it's another platform, maybe it's, you know, social media, maybe it's something, but you have it set and it's something super simple. But it gives you that opportunity, and it gives people the opportunity. So I do honestly believe, even in everything seller, that you think maybe you have nothing or no reason to ever have a repeat customer. I think spending 5 minutes to do that super simple thing of having consistent color or a consistent name is really, really important.
Okay.
I have it
like
too,
that.
where I get it set up for like to send out coupons, like like even if it's like maybe like Libby was saying, like if you're an everything seller and you got like an array of things, I don't know, you never know if they're gonna come back and just look and see what you have, and they'll be like, oh, that's cool, or I need that too, and
yeah, or I bought from him. Oh yeah, I remember that. I was really happy with that last thing I bought. Oh, there he is, right there. There's his face. Okay. I know who I'm shopping with.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I know. I just didn't think it was that important for an eBay seller, but I guess that's why we're learning here. I guess I'm completely wrong, and I need to take a deeper dive into my eBay store.
We should kick you off the show.
Ray, we're here.
I know,
for
right?
you. We're here. For
well,
you.
see, I know the importance of branding. Trust me. So like, especially like on platforms like all the live selling app platforms, like whatnot, like that is a branding. If you don't have branding on that, you're basically screwed on that platform. But I didn't think it was that important for something like eBay, or like I can see the branding on Etsy, I can see branding on Poshmark, whatnot, and so on. But I learned something new.
eBay's just as important. I mean, think of all your whatnot shoppers who might be looking for something specific. Wouldn't they rather buy it from you that they know from whatnot?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
People love you. Take advantage of it, Ray.
Right?
You know?
Oh,
I think more people. I don't know about all that.
So I had someone reach out to me once on I think they sent me a Facebook message because they couldn't do it through Mercari. Because if you mention any other platform on Mercari, they
that's how whatnot is too. If you put Mercari down, it just won't.
That's why you got to put spaces between the letters.
Yeah.
Oh, Mercari's pretty. Their bots on there are actually pretty smart for what a weird platform it is. But they sent me a message to let me know that they had found an item they liked on eBay in my store. And I don't think of, like, my store has a banner and my logo and stuff, but I don't think of it as like a storefront. But they found an item they liked. So then they searched Sorting with Samantha because they had a Mercari credit that they didn't want to cash out. They wanted to use it on something. So then they went over and found that I had cross-listed it into Mercari, and they bought it in there, which is super weird and probably super rare. But in that instance, Googling Sorting with Samantha really helped.
Yeah. And it's all because you were branded. I mean, I get text messages on my store phone from eBay, people that find my stuff on eBay because I'm branded, right? Or they have a question about it, or it's a local pickup item. And they can only do that because they know what the brand is and they know how to look it up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that is, and you guys give tips and stuff for on your Patreon, right? On branding and all that stuff.
Yeah, we have a free on our YouTube channel. We have a lot of different branding tutorials, or you could watch Molly walk through, and we have an example, Journey with Jill, where her whole business, the whole process is documented about how like the brand is developed, and
That's awesome. So so we're talking about consignment. So the the hamsters are getting tired today, guys.
That's okay. I got them too. I get it.
So when people come up to you and say they want to consign something, and you're helping these Patreoners walk through the process, what is usually like the percentage? Because that's a lot of work. Do they ship you the item and then you send it out? Like, I'm trying to figure out like how this all works.
So in our consignment business, and this is what we walk people through, is, somebody sends me a message in my consignment business. You have to know what your terms are, right? And that's what our free downloadable contract tells you. How many days you're going to keep the item, what the percentage is, and I'll circle back to the percentage. How you're going to pay out the person, when you're going to pay out the person, that you're not liable for the items. So a lot of people most people drop stuff off in person. There are people that send it through the mail. We encourage people to do it to that, find a local consignment seller, but some people just get stuck on working with you. And so they'll send it through the mail if their items meet your terms. So let's say a lot of people say, I'm not going to consign anything, under $100. That's my terms. You're going to receive 40% of the sale price at the end of 60 days. If it doesn't sell, I'm going to keep that and transfer it into my inventory. So those are some basic terms that we use. The industry standard is between 40 and 70%. We say never, ever, ever, please, for the love of God, give somebody more than 50% of your profit. So,
yeah, a 50-50 split should be the bare minimum for you.
Minimum.
I mean,
and are you doing profit or are you doing sale of the item?
I'm sorry, the sales price. Sales
price.
Yeah, not the profit. Some people do profit. No, I take that back. Some people do profit.
That's just part of your terms and knowing the terms. I do it differently for each platform. So eBay, if it sells for $30, then I say it's $30, and that's how I always do that for eBay, is the sale price. And then when I go over to other platforms, which make it so much easier to just see the profit part on every sale, then I'll just do it by profit on those ones. So Poshmark and Facebook and all those, it tells you made X amount, and that's what I split with them. Most of my consigners don't care. They're not paying any attention to that. They're just pumped to get their stuff out of their house, and it's not going to Goodwill, and they get money.
So not 100% then. Got it.
Yeah.
How often does an item sit in your consignment store before you get rid of it? I guess that just has to do with the terms.
Your terms.
Yeah. So our terms, Samantha and I have totally different terms. So my terms are at the end of 60 days. If it does not sell, it becomes my inventory. From there,
like it's yours?
It is mine.
Like you keep it. So like if it sells in the future, you get 100% of whatever it sells for.
Correct.
Wow.
Now that allows me to take lower value items than most consignment sellers will take.
That's risky for someone. How often does that happen where an item doesn't sell for 60 days and you're like, "Ooh, it's mine."
All the time. A lot. Yeah. So, I mean, from there, and our customers are very aware that we run fundraisers quite often where we're donating 100% of the profits. Some of the items do in fact get donated, but most of them are just my inventory, and I sell that and I, get the profit.
But Libby, they're also aware that you do everything in your power when you have it to get it sold before that 60 days.
Because it is 60 days, right? Yeah. So I'm doing everything I possibly can do in that 60 days. Like it is no holds barred as far as selling goes, and no, stone left unturned. Like it is, we are doing everything.
And what are you doing?
Yes.
To be everything to get it to sell?
Oh, sales, it's on
promoted listings,
promoted listings, eBay, Poshmark, Etsy.
How deep do you go into your sales?
So at the end of the consignment, I will take just about any offer. All right, since our ideal customers aren't listening to this, I guess it's okay. I will take just about any offer. And at the end of the consignment terms, I do a 50% off sale. So my store always has a couple hundred items at 50% off of an already good price. So,
and now I'm not going to lie. As somebody who lists in the same account as hers, when I see those offers come through and see it that she accepted it, I go, "Oh God!" Like
daily. She's like, "Oh, Libby,
I can't believe she just sold that for that little amount of money." But even though I list under Libby's business, our business models are very different. So what she does makes a lot of sense. It's not what I do.
But you got to get it in. You got to get it out, right?
Yeah,
Libby.
I mean, in that 60 days, I don't care. Like after the 60 days and it's mine, I don't have to take a low. I don't take a low offer usually. Yeah.
Does the consignor get upset? Like when you're like, "Oh man, you put my item for 50% off. I didn't agree."
No, it was actually a request. It was actually at the request of my consigners that I do that. Mm-hmm. You do everything. They're like, you mark it as low as it needs to go. If don't feel bad about it. We want it to sell within the 60 days. So this is a relatively within the past couple of years, I've been doing that at their request.
Yeah, I had a consigner reach out recently, and she goes, well, do I get my stuff back? And I was like, nope, here's the terms again in case you want to reread them. Your items are, for me, I do 6 months. So your items are listed for 6 months. And I said, and I, have it on X, Y, and Z platforms. And then I make sure that I run sales, and I went through the different sales, and I also do a 50% off sale towards the end. And she's like, oh, well, that sounds good. I can't do anything other than that. So that's great. Okay, fantastic.
So my question is, Libby, how many items do you have in your store? I mean, I know Molly's got her stuff in it too, but
12,000.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So you're at like close to 60 days for, let's say, Karen's stuff. Do you just have her name in the SKU so you can look up just her things and put 50% only on hers? Because you can't just do 50% because you don't want to put it on everybody's.
Right. So no, I do it by SKU. So we use Consign Cloud. Yeah, we use Consign Cloud for our software. It has some like our consignment software is called Consign Cloud, and it just has some crazy awesome reporting features. So I just run a report and it tells me the SKUs, and I just plop those right into eBay, and it's quick and easy. So
with sound effects.
With sound effects. Yeah.
So do you have, so every day are you looking to see, oh, this person's almost at, so like, do you have like the last 10 days? So
there's like a grace period, right? So I do it in 2-week intervals. So, cause there's a grace period, right? So it'll just say it's expired or it's expiring, but it's still on their account. So it's actually easy, right? It doesn't expire the item until I tell it to expire. So I just do it in batches, like 50, 2-week batches, 14 days. Yeah. So everything that's expired in that period. Yeah.
So after your time, like when you you keep it for 2 months, and then Samantha said 6 months, like how long do you keep something after that until you're like, okay, this is not going to sell. I'm going to
forever.
Yeah. I'll do that too. I'll do the same thing.
No, this is where we are very different. So a lot of our terms are the same. But when it comes to this, I don't have a lot of space. I have a Michigan wet, crappy basement that I have totes and stuff in, and a dehumidifier running 24/7. Yeah, they're terrible. And I don't have a ton of space. So I keep things for the 6 months. And then after the 6 months, it becomes my inventory to do whatever I want with it. So I run a Facebook auction group, and I will put things in there for $1 just to get rid of them and auction them off. Sometimes they'll sell for more than what I had them listed on eBay, and that really irks me, but whatever. A lot of times they sell for $1. I'll bundle things and sell it as a lot, or sometimes I let things sit and they'll sit there for a year. Generally not longer than a year. That drives me nuts.
You just get tired of looking at the same things over and over,
Yeah.
We still, once every couple of weeks in our sales, that one sale will pop up, and I'm like, oh, that was a 2019 listing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just shipped one out this morning that was a 2018.
Wow.
A suede jacket that was 2018, and it still had the storefront tag on
it. Did it really?
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was back crazy. In the old days, and it sold.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
Out of those 12,000 listings, Libby, how many a day, like sales do you do? How many sales a day do you get?
So, let's see. We list about 250 a week. I'm sorry, I track it by the week, so I have to backtrack. 250. We sell about 100. We sell about, let's say, roughly about 200 a week, 200 items a week, 150 to 200 items a week. So whatever that is a day, I don't know.
Let's just say the last time we took a vacation together, she on vacation mode and not listing was still selling 10 items a day.
Yeah. So a lot. It's a lot.
So your items
are under consignment, and not your.
Well, some of those are my inventory.
Okay.
It depends on the day.
It depends.
Days, yeah.
And she also likes to go to auctions and stuff, just like I like to garage sale and do things like that. We still resell in the traditional sense, but I can walk into a Goodwill, and if there is not a good deal and I'm not finding like an awesome thing that's going to get me a good flip, I walk out. I don't have to flip through clothing racks and hope to find inventory or go like no, that's not going to give me a $50 return. I'm good. And I walk out because I have consignment waiting for me at home.
That's what I was going to say. That's why when we say all resellers should be consignment ready, I always go back to my business model because I love to go out and source items. So I don't want to be full consignment. So I'm very different than the two of them, where they are probably 90% consignment and I'm probably 10% consignment, 90% reseller. Yeah. And so I love having the consignment. I love that I have consigners. Because if things get tight, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. If times get tight, I don't have to go risk my own money by going out and sourcing items. I can just beef up my consignment side and list those and not have to put any of my money out to bring inventory in. So I feel like it's a nice safety buffer for me, but I still get to do what I love. I love the search. I love the find, the treasure hunt. So
I think everybody likes that. They just don't like to list.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I guess that's why you can
the exception. I love to list. I love it. I hate to shop, and I love to list.
We just need like 1,000 of you. You would make the perfect employee,
right?
Yes.
No,
I am the worst employee because I have to be in charge. I have to be in charge. I'm the worst employee. Yeah.
That's okay. I'll pretend that you can pretend you're in charge.
Exactly.
You know, whatever you. And you're in charge. Go right ahead.
You know what? I just ignore her, so it's all poor Libby.
So I have a question. How did you get out there to tell people that you consign? Like, did you look like on Facebook? You
tell one person, and all of a sudden you can't. It doesn't stop.
It really is.
You got to keep your ear to the streets, Joe.
So for me and she had a storefront and stuff, so it's pretty out there. But for me and mine, like I worked at the hospital, and some people at the hospital wanted their cabinets organized or whatever, and I was like, I love to organize stuff. I'll come over and do that. So I started organizing for people. Those people were then like, come organize my garage, and then they wanted to throw away everything, and I was like, well, I can put this on Facebook and have somebody pick it up in the next 20 minutes and we can make $50. Like, let's do that instead. And a lot of people just wanted to, nope, I want it. Just throw it away. Just throw it away. And it got to the point where I was like, I can't. So I started convincing people, let me put it on Facebook. Let me sell it for you. And then that turned into, I stopped doing organizing and I just started selling for people. But they told their neighbor, and then their neighbor told somebody at church, and then somebody at church. I went to the doctor one day, and now that my doctor, her nurse, and the pharmacy tech are all consigners with me because they all chattered about it.
It's harder to stop it than it is to start it. Like literally while we're on here, I've had 2 text messages for people that want new people that I have no idea who they are that want to consign with us.
Wow.
So do you have like your regular people? I mean, they just know what you are looking for. Cause I mean, you don't want somebody dropping off 10 bags of clothes and they're all dirty underwear and dirty socks when really you're looking for probably nice jackets and nice like North Face. I mean, I don't,
it's all in our terms. It's all in the contract. Okay. It's all broken down.
And that's something like when you sign up for your Patreon, you guys can, I guess, help us
develop that.
Tailor-made the the terms to how we want it. Like for me, I don't do a lot of clothing, so it's like I don't want to have a lot of clothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like don't send me clothing because I'm not going to listen. It's never going to sell, kind of thing.
Right.
But, that's the beautiful thing about those terms is they are yours. It can be whatever you want it to be.
And it's a nice way to say no to people. Like, oh, I'm sorry. This, I just don't do clothing. It's not in my terms, or it's not something I do.
That's a really nice way of saying that. Other men like, oh, I'm sorry. This is all trash.
And then as far as people bringing you trash, like we have it in our terms, like I accept 4 bags and boxes at a time. That way people are not filling my entire porch and part of my front yard, because that has happened where they went just to drop off a few things, and I've got like a whole dining room set with bags of clothes stuffed in between it. Oh yeah. So they can only drop off 4 bags or boxes at a time, reusable shopping type bags. Like, I outline all of that kind of stuff. And then the other side of it is I put right in my terms that I decide what gets listed and what gets donated. They don't get anything back, like, regardless. But people don't know what the value of their stuff is. They see that they have this whatever, oh, it's an Atari video game, it must be super, super expensive. But it's not. But however, that N64 game, which they saw as a new game because their kids had it or whatever, that one was better because it was whatever N64 game. So I just tell them, they say, I have video games, and I say, great, bring them all to me. I go through them. I decide what gets listed, how it gets listed. I donate or auction or do whatever with the rest of the stuff if it's not worth putting in my eBay store. And that's they trust me to make all those decisions.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've had a consigner, in fact, not long ago, meet me, open up her trunk and go, well, no, these boxes over here just donate to Goodwill. These are the bags I have here. And I'm looking at the box. I'm like, wait a minute, that will sell. And I pull like 7 things out, and they're like, really? They'll sell? And they were like the first things to sell within a week. They don't know, you know?
Yes. Yeah, I just sold a seashell on Etsy for like $60, and that was in somebody's. I walked through their estate before, like, to discuss my terms and like look at their stuff, which I don't normally do, but that was a special situation, and they had that in their Goodwill pile. And same thing, like, oh, don't look over that corner, that stuff's all going in the trash or Goodwill. And I was like, well, what about this and this and this? And yeah.
So Samantha, do you do furniture as well?
No.
Oh, okay. Because you were like saying a dining room set was in
I used to.
Where do you store that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't anymore. My garage used to be packed full of consignment, and I have a terrible garage. It's not like there's no heat in it or anything. So no, I had to set some big limits. I didn't used to have any limits. I used to take entire estates. I used all at once, like. It was not good. But if the people truly want it gone, so I stopped taking estates because it was too overwhelming, and then I wouldn't list it, or it would take a long time, or I'd have to say no to other people because I just took this entire household full of stuff. But the one where I went and walked through last summer, I walked through in the spring, and she said, just let me know. We can store it all in our garage. Just let me know if you're interested. And I told her, I am interested. You have great stuff. It was fantastic stuff. We made thousands of dollars together. But I said, I can only take, 10 boxes a week. Like, that's got to be the limit. So I did 2 drop-offs with her, or twice a week, every week for the whole summer. And we got through the estate for the whole summer, but it was way easier than taking it all at once. And I didn't have to store it anywhere. They had the means to store it and not worry about it. And she just literally just brought me 5 boxes every Tuesday and every Thursday, and I was able to get through it.
Wow!
I'll take the whole estate at once. I'll go ahead and run it. I'm like, bring it on! I want it all.
You have room for that, Libby? Really?
Does.
I do.
And employees.
Yeah.
So my next question.
Wait. You have employees too, Libby?
Ish. I have helpers. Ish.
Like, they have a few days a week or what?
So I have like 2 remote people. So one picks up the items, takes them to her home, photographs them, brings them back. I process the listings. The other one does the whole process. She takes drop-offs at her home. She photographs, she lists, she does everything. And then once a month she'll bring it. No, once a month she brings them to me.
But what happens if she lists it and it sells 2 days later?
Well, she doesn't put it on. She just puts it in our consignment system, and then I adjust the dates when I get it and make it live on Shopify. Yeah. So it's all.
And then you also have someone that cross lists,
and then my son cross lists. He's a college student, so he that's his money. There is he does all the cross listing remotely. Yeah.
Samantha, how did you sell that seashell on Etsy? Because it's like Like, what category is that under?
I don't remember. So
It was
after
ocean made,
Decor.
handmade,
after
ocean
it
made.
sold, I was like, somebody asked me that question, and I was like, I don't actually know why I even listed that on Etsy, because it's not handmade, and who knows if it's probably because that entire estate was vintage. That place had not been touched in 30 years. Oh my God. And everything had the layer of dust to prove it. So that I probably just kind of lumped it in with all the other vintage stuff that I got from there. But I wouldn't recommend that people just start listing all of their seashells on Etsy. My other seashells are not listed on Etsy, and it's probably not allowed.
That's what I'm saying, because I tried something like that one, not a seashell, but it got pulled down pretty quick. So that's why I was asking, like,
what was it, Brendan?
I don't even remember. It was so long ago. But it was something like, it was modern, and they're like, this goes against our, our listing policies or whatever. So that's what I was saying. How do you know it was a vintage or whatever?
I definitely screwed that one up, and it probably shouldn't have been on there, but it sold for good money.
Go.
So
there you go. There you go.
Through.
I figured you just judged it by the size and figured if it grew this big, it's got to be a vintage seashell.
Like, there you go.
100 years old.
Right?
I guess that's true. What does it go by when it was created?
Right.
Yeah.
And it was homemade by that crustacean.
Ocean made.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess.
She's got both categories covered there.
None of this is actual reselling advice, and nobody should use that rationality.
So I got a really good question, and probably everyone that's listening to this and watching this, we hear about the consigning and all that, and people bringing your stuff and you guys listing it and selling it and then paying people out. What does like the tax implication look like for all this? Because maybe this could be like something people get like a little nervous about, where it's like, like, man, I have all these people giving me stuff. Well, not giving me stuff. Well, giving me stuff for me to sell, and then I'm paying people out, and it's like, man, at the end of the year, my company or my LLC or my sole proprietorship has to pay taxes on it at the end of the year. Like,
super easy.
Tell me, Libby, tell me.
Cost of goods sold is what you pay your consignor out. Same thing. So if I pay out my consignors, $50,000 last year, that's my cost of goods sold is $50,000.
So you record it in the same way that you're recording your Goodwill receipts.
Yep.
You sold $50,000 worth of stuff on eBay, but you spent $10,000 at Goodwill. Well, I spent $20,000 paying out my consignors.
You're paying out your consignor.
So your gross amount still looks real gross, and you're like, oh, that's a big number. But your net is gonna reflect your after.
Like you say, it's like a Goodwill receipt. So like, how do you keep track of that? For like, it's not like a company where you're buying it from. It's an individual where you're getting the items from that you're selling.
So, you do that in your consignment software or my reseller Genie. I know you guys love them too.
We do. So use code Nashville Flippers for 15% off.
Yeah, yes. There you go. See, Mom. Natural segue there.
Oh yeah, I love it. And they are consignment ready, so you can add your consignors in there, and they'll tell you how to do it in your taxes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder, because a lot of whatnot sellers are going to that strategy too, because you'll have a whatnot seller that has like the audience to be able to sell something stupid that like cost $1 for like $10, which a person that wants to consign their items, they give it to that person, and then they could sell it and they can get the money from it. So I don't know if you guys want to, consign for whatnot people going forward, but I think that might be the new thing. Well, if you have a big enough audience, that could be a game changer. I think.
I agree. I've seen some people do it. The only thing that kills me is listening to those people's splits. They're like, "Oh, you get 80% once it sells," and they're super pumped to keep 20%. I'm like, "You're doing all the work. Why are you only keeping 20%?"
Yeah. That does scare. And every single whatnot seller I've heard talk about consignment has said that. It scares me.
They're they need. And I get that they're doing quick flips and they're not listening.
Right.
I totally get the volume and the quick aspect of that. I have a Facebook auction group that works in essentially the same way. Totally get it. but you can get so much more for those things. So much more in the percentage wise. Like
no
in the
more
split.
than 50, right, Libby?
No
Don't give
more
them
than
more than-
50. You don't give away more than 50. No.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I don't like that. But the other thing too is you already talked about how people don't like to list. My favorite clients are resellers. They understand like how to run an actual comp on an actual sold listing. And they love to go shopping. I will see them if I were to go to Goodwill right now. A couple of my clients will be there. And they bring me stuff every month. And they just have me sell it because they love to shop. They can get good deals. They got hookups with people, but they don't like to list it, or they don't have time to list it. My one girl, she got a different job. She went from working part-time and being married to being divorced and working 2 jobs. Yikes. And she goes, I can't maintain my Poshmark closet. I can't do this. I can't do that. But she still has a ton of inventory. She loves to shop. She brings it all to me, and we still make lots of money together.
I just feel like this is a place to insert the Thrifty app.
What is the Thrifty app?
I try to
You're
use
gonna have
that.
to talk about your new
you?
business model here,
I'm
Molly.
going to insert the Thrifty app here because we have been collaborating with this, and it is a phenomenal app for consignment. It is.
Is this your app, Molly, or is this a separate app?
You what?
Is this your app? Or is
no.
Okay.
No, we've just been helping with consulting with this and running the pilots for her. But it is the Thrifty app. It is the answer to my prayers. But I say anybody who wants to consign and have items sent to you, this is a great way to do it. B, if you're like me and you love to go out and source items, but you don't necessarily want to list them all, it's a great way to be a consignee. So on the Thrifty app, they're referred to as managers or members. So if you're the seller, you're a manager. If you're sending your stuff to them to sell, you're a member. So right now, I set myself up as both, but I'm really doing the member part, and I am sending stuff out to other people to list and sell for me.
Molly was able to get rid of her storage unit recently because she was able to go through the storage unit and say, okay, I'm going to send this stuff to these managers through the Thrifty app, and then I'm going to take this stuff home and list it myself. And she was able to do that over a little while and be able to liquidate, get rid of some stuff.
And just cash the check well, not really, it's a check. Just have the money deposited into your account at the end of the month.
And let all the money come to me.
Consignment has so many different avenues and ways for people to do things.
Yeah. So I get my fix of sourcing, but then I don't have to list everything. I love to feel like I'm saving items when I see different things, but some of them I just can't wait to get home and photograph, because I sometimes will pick something up and I'm just like, oh, I can't wait to photograph this. It's so awesome. I love photography, so I get excited. And then some of it I'm like, somebody needs this. This is awesome, but I really don't want to list it. I'd rather. So that's where I go through my consign or mine. Ooh, this is mine. Ooh, this is consign.
So what would you have done with the Pillsbury Doughboy head?
Oh,
mine
God.
or consign?
I out of fear probably would have wanted to consign it, but due to the size, I probably would have just gone ahead and listed it myself and not put that on somebody else. I would have felt horrible putting that on somebody else. But
like here's this giant head. Take care of this, please.
Yeah. I love that thing. I would have had a shelf.
Awesome.
It would have had a shelf in my house. That's what it would have. On top of my cabinets in my kitchen.
There you go.
Yep.
You should have bought it, Samantha.
Every time I inquired about it, it wasn't listed yet. So
that is true. That's true. Yes, that's true.
Sam, talk about your Facebook garage sale page. So what's that about?
Yeah, so I run a lot of Facebook groups.
How many?
I have 3 that are branded together. They are very similar, and then I run
a callback, guys.
I run many others. So I have my EUP auction group. That's the baby that started it all, where I have like 7,000 people in there that they post and bid. It's a mixture of both. For a long time, it was just me in there posting stuff for whatever, paid for my Starbucks. We're good to go. But it has grown, and now that thing just runs itself.
You got to talk about how it works. That's the coolest part, because
Yeah.
not everybody in the country knows that. This
I
is
don't
a
know.
you
That's
thing.
why I'm
This
asking.
is crazy cool. It's crazy cool.
Okay, so my auction group, I have a list of 10 rules because Facebook limits you to 10. So we narrowed it down because you got to have a lot of rules in there. You got to train your people. But once it's good, like I said, that thing runs itself. I sometimes don't look in there for weeks at a time. I can list something in there. So say I list this jar and I say that is starting bid of $3 and I am located in the Sioux, pick up within whatever, and boom, that's it. And then people go into the comments and they bid. The minimum is $3. And they also have to be at least 50 cent increments. And 24 hours later from the time I post it. So if I posted at 12 noon on Thursday, then whoever has the highest bid before 12 noon on Friday wins. And there's timestamps on Facebook, so I can hover over in the last at 11:59. Whoever had the highest bid by 11:59, it's done. So they'll go in and like I said, some stuff I'll post for like $10. And I'm like, how is nobody bidding on this? Other stuff I'll post for $1 and it'll sell for 25. And I'm like, guys, you could have went on Amazon and bought 3 of those, but I don't tell them that. But it's just crazy. It's all local. I do have a couple people in there that I ship to, but for the most part, it's local. And like I said, anybody can post in there and do it. It's just its own little community. It's crazy. So I put like my expired items when I'm cleaning out and saying, okay, this stuff's been here for 6 months or a year, whatever. I'll put boxes in there and say, this is a box of women's clothing. This is a box of children's clothing. And I'll just start them at $5 or whatever. And it really cleans house for me. And then I have my garage sale group. So I live in a very small area as far as people, but a very spread out area. So the next town over is 20 miles away and there is nothing but farmland in between or national forest. Sometimes there's not even people that live 20 miles in between. So when we're looking at garage sales, like the newspaper used to be nice. It used to have everything listed in the classifieds. You could plan your day, your route, write down your route.
And it was current for like that weekend.
Right.
Yes.
That's the part
Doesn't that drive you nuts when they come and it's like 3 weeks ago? Like, oh.
Yes. And even signs now, like cities are not enforcing signs and taking them down. So especially in a rural area, you could go on a goose chase 10 miles down a weird dirt road and find out that garage sale was last weekend, or it rained and they didn't want to, or whatever. So I made a space where everybody can list their garage sale. They must put the dates and times very clearly. Pictures are encouraged but not required. And they go on there and they list them. And at the end of like every Sunday morning, I go through and I delete the ones that aren't, they're already done. They were Friday, Saturday. I delete them. And then Monday morning, I do it again. I delete anything that was all weekend and was on Sunday. And I'm in there every couple days just deleting them so they're current. Now, Joe did inquire about this, and it did not fit his area because a busy garage sale weekend in my area is like 20 garage sales. Like, oh my gosh, that's like the craziest weekend ever within like a 20-mile radius as well. So it's, for him, there'd be way too much to keep up with and a lot more sales.
Right. That's what I've like tried to figure out how I could. Do I just do the county I live in, or I can't just do central Minnesota because I would be deleting 400 listings on a Monday. Easy.
Yeah. And I do a tri-county area because we just don't have that many people. So if this is Michigan, Brendan lives down here. I live up here. And my garage sale group is this whole section here. And even like parts of Canada. Some of the Canadians get in on it because I can see Canada out my window. So the great thing is I know of every garage sale when it's going to happen because I think I have like 6 or 7.
I was going to say that's why Joe was inquiring.
Well, I'm sick of, like Molly said, I'm sick of like, oh, this garage sale looks fantastic. They have no dates. and I message them. They're like, "Oh, I had that back in April."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, it's September," and I say, "Can you please delete it?"
Right.
Because I don't want to see it again.
That's why I
I
stopped
don't
checking.
know how is what they say.
I stopped checking Facebook for garage sales because they're never current. Like,
nobody up here uses any other app. Like nobody uses Nextdoor. We don't. I tried to get people to use that Pirate Treasure. There was all kinds of them that I tried.
Those apps drive me nuts. Although, like, if you go on the yard sales dot whatever,
Treasure
because
map.
there's pop-up ads every 2 seconds, and it's like, I just want to map a route.
I tried to get those all to take off, but I started this one like 2 or 3 years ago, and then I just did this. It's easier.
I still use Craigslist for.
I do too,
and it's more reliable than Facebook is for me.
I agree. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. So the nice thing about this group is, I mean, when my husband says, "Oh, hey, let's go to the grocery store and we can stop at a couple of garage sales," I just pull up the group and I'm like, "Sweet, there's 3 between here and the grocery store." Like, it's easy to pull up and reference. If I stop and see one that maybe isn't in the group, I'll shop it and then I'll say, "Hey guys, can I take a picture and share it in my garage sale group?" And now I got more members in there and spread the word. Most of the time when I go and search Facebook to see if there's any other, like 99% of them are in my group. So I'm not worried about that. Like, I'm getting the majority of the sales. And if they post pictures ahead of time, most people are posting things on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Their sales on Saturday. If they post a picture and I'm scanning through, I'm Google Lensing things, I will message them and say, "Hey, I'm not available on Saturday morning, but I'm wondering if I could stop by Friday night. I'm interested in this, this, and this. I'd love to take a look. I'll bring cash." And they say yes. And then now I'm pre-shopping sales. It works out great.
We can never do it. We can never.
I don't know.
We can never. Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
We do this every week, and I was like, I was telling somebody, I was like, you imagine like somebody watching this, and they're like, "What the hell are they doing?" Like,
I was wondering what you were doing earlier too.
At least we know we can do this one.
Yeah.
What's the balloon one? The balloon.
The balloon one is this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, the confetti.
Oh, confetti.
Yeah, confetti.
I thought the balloon one
It doesn't work for guests, I guess.
I need to start doing that on ours.
There you go.
Confetti.
This is one.
Yeah.
Ooh, balloons.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, see, oh, there it goes.
Yeah, there it goes. But guys, y'all are just 3 amazing boss babes.
Killing it.
Like you killing the game.
Killing it.
Like my mind is like spinning. It's like I'm thinking about like different ways that I can
To sell all your stuff behind you, or what?
this is my stuff.
Oh, okay.
JoJo.
Don't let me in the vicinity. I will sell anything.
Yeah.
He will.
I'm a collector at heart, which is not good. Collector / hoarder. So what are you gonna say, Sam?
So my side hustle is I dog sit for people because I love animals, and most of them.
You want to dog sit my dog?
If you will pay for my plane ticket and or gas, yes, absolutely, yes. So I was at my neighbor's house the other day, lives right across the street, and I was saying how I like want to sell everything in her house, and I'm like, it's a good thing I'm a real like nice person because this could be a thing. Like, she has amazing stuff. She reached out to me today and she's like, "Hey, I'm just wondering if you could come over in the next couple of days and I can show you some things that I could donate to a charity account, because I'll do like accounts for like the animal shelter and stuff like that where I still get my split, but the consigner split goes to that charity." And she goes, "I would just love to donate some charity items if you'd come over and look at them." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I love everything."
Like, I've been waiting for this.
Right? That's awesome.
Samantha's way in to try and scope out people's houses to try and find things.
Yeah, I definitely sound a little creepy. Yeah.
I wonder, I don't know if you guys have them there or not where you guys live, but there's a lot of like, we pick up junk.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like all those companies that like, just point and we'll pick it up for you. Like, I wonder, like behind the scenes of companies like that, they're just like reselling businesses.
So
I had a contract with 1-800-GOT-JUNK in Philadelphia where they would call us and they would consign their stuff because like they would save the good stuff for us, right? And we'd go pick it up and sell it. And it was pretty cool because they didn't have that's not their specialty, right? They're not, they couldn't do that or do it well. They kept trying to do it, but they liked us doing it because that's what we did. They removed junk and we sold the good stuff. So that was kind of fun.
So I have a guy here that he started out as a scrap hauler and he would just take scrap metal. He's got a deal with, like, I say the local, but it's 4 hours away, the local Home Depot, where he leaves a trailer there and they put all their dings and dents and the stuff they can't sell and they load the trailer up and he comes and picks it up once a week and swaps the trailer out. Like, he started as a scrapper. Well, people will reach out to him and say, I have a washer and a dryer that I want to scrap. And then I also have all this other stuff in my garage. Well, he has a couple storage units. He'll put it in the storage units and then he'll have a sale like once a month. He'll just have a garage sale type thing, open his storage units, and he'll do some estate sale type stuff if it's mostly like equipment and like guy stuff. And he'll just liquidate the rest of it. He always gives great prices. Like, I love shopping his sales. He has an eBay store with almost 10,000 items. And I just talked to him the other day. He just got a VA. He only sells car parts. So I can get all the board games and glassware and all the other stuff I want from him because he will only list car parts and the stuff that he scraps in his eBay store. And he actually has a guy coming from an auction house. They're traveling up because we don't even have auction houses near us. He is traveling up to do an auction and clean out his storage units so that he can kind of start over because I want to have him on our show. He's doing so many things and he's actually doing it. Like, he's actually selling the stuff and not just hoarding it all. Because I feel like a lot of the scrappers and the move away people, they do that. Like you said, they try to do it, but they can't figure out a way to resell it very well. And he's found some ways.
I like it. Well, girls, thank you so much for your time. I
Thank
appreciate
you very
y'all.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this has been
us.
so amazing, and I hope everyone that's listening and watching can get a lot out of this because there's not one way to resell. There's not one way to skin a cat, right? And I feel like for some people, this could be a perfect business model for them. Just to not, even if you know how to do everything, but maybe like right now the cash flow's not there, and you can get that going. But so I'm gonna put all your information down in the description below. For the people that may not know you that are listening and they're not looking at the description, where can they find you guys? Where can they get plugged in? I mean, Monday through Friday, 10-minute motivations. I mean, that sounds amazing.
Consignmentchats.com. Consignmentchats.com. Just type that in. It will take you wherever you need to go. If you need to get in the book club, it'll take you there. If you need to get in our Patreon, it'll take you there. If you need to,
and if you can't find what you're looking for, just send us a message from there, and we'll help you find it.
There we go.
That's awesome.
Anything else from these fellows over here? What do you guys got? Anything?
Yeah, real quick. I just want to say, Ray, happy belated birthday.
Thanks, man.
Happy birthday to you. Make the balloons come down, guys.
Yeah. Balloons. And confetti.
We need birthday balloons.
Now we can't
38 years young.
Leveled up.
Wow.
Level up.
Just a baby. He's just a baby.
Yeah.
So,
thank you so much for having us. You guys are a treat to hang out with.
Well, thanks. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Go ahead, Joe.
So if anybody's interested in your next get together in Colorado, when is that going to be?
We are doing that. Oh gosh, I didn't have that information up. Girls, do y'all remember my dates right off the bat?
It's the
Beginning of
September.
Of next year.
September 8th, I think. So somewhere around
that,
September 8th. Yeah. Yep.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, okay. Cool. I didn't even put it on her.
It's just going to be a small little thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love it.
But I'm sure we're going to get Joe and Nicole there, and I know we'll get Brendan and Ray there
Colorado,
too.
So
there you go.
All right.
You guys have dragged me there. No, I'm just kidding. I want to go.
I'll pick you up on the way.
All right.
Yeah, you're only 5 hours from me.
That's true.
There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much, Consignment Chat ladies. I do greatly appreciate it. So, guys, that's another fantastic episode of This Week in Reselling. My name is Ray.
I'm Joe from Flip That.
I always do the wrong way. I'm Brendan. Big time flips.
And we are Consignment Trap.
Hey, there you go, Sam. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. See y'all and God bless.
Peace.